Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Elleiah and today I want to talk you through a couple of some New Year's resolutions that I have been thinking about that are along the more magical, mystical and spiritual route. So before I get stuck in to talking about 2021 and how we can make that year super magical and super special, I think it's probably best if we actually take a little step back and have a look at 2020. Now, I think it's safe to say for everyone, 2020 hasn't exactly been the year that any of us had planned. Yes, things kind of went south pretty quickly, and therefore a lot of people fell off their New Year's resolutions pretty quickly and plans were absolutely destroyed. And so I think it's safe to say that whatever happened in 2020 and whatever you had planned to do and whatever New Year's resolutions you set yourself, I think this year you can't be too hard on yourself if you didn't get to those goals and you didn't, keep on track and did your daily habits or any of those gorgeous things that you may have put onto your to-do list. So I think it's actually probably best if we just accept what it was. I don't think at least the beginning of 2021 is going to be much different to 2020, especially here in the UK. Things are getting worse again. So I think it's probably best if we just close the door, say goodbye, say thank you, and let's just carry on. So your New Year's resolutions may be exactly the same as they were last year because you weren't able to fulfill them, and that is absolutely fine. But if you are still struggling on a couple of ideas, I have got 5 prepared for you today that I thought may be able to help you think of some more in the future. So the first witchy goal that I have for your New Year's resolutions is finding time, or better, making time to bring magic every day into your routines. Now, if you're like me, you probably like to do daily divination or daily meditation or daily spells or something like that. And if you can make time to do that every single day, you'll probably find that, well, practice makes perfect, doesn't it, really? You'll probably find that your divination skills will become even more intuitive and you'll get used to your cards even quicker if you're learning to use them. Or if you're doing daily meditation, you'll probably find that perhaps over a month, even without meditation, you're probably much calmer and much more inward looking kind of person than you were a month ago when you had first started. So trying to find at least about 10, it doesn't even have to be 10 minutes, even just going over to your altar or to your desk, wherever you have your little special place, wherever you could go, and just thinking to yourself, today is going to be a good day no matter what. And if you think like that with enough intent, that in itself is a spell, ladies and gentlemen. And so therefore that took me about 10 seconds to say, and you've done your daily deed. So yes, even if it really is as small as that or as massive as an hour-long routine which includes goodness knows what, try to find just a little bit of time every single day to devote to magic. Which kind of leads me quite nicely into my second witchy goal or resolution, and that's trying to find the magic in the everyday or in the mundane. Now, it's very easy, especially when you are starting out and you're new, to think you must have all of these things. You must have all the herbs, all the candles, all the colours. You have to have this and that and a cauldron, and sometimes it can get rather easy to kind of forget why you started in the first place when it comes to adding in all these little additions and all of these extra things that perhaps we don't actually need. Before witchcraft in itself was perhaps commercialised, none of these things were really a necessity when it came to magic or living a natural life. Witchcraft wasn't even called witchcraft until, a few hundred years ago. It was just the norm, it was just how people lived. It wasn't given a name. So if you want to be able to bring magic into your everyday, you've got to try and think about how people would have done it so many years ago. And magic in the everyday could have been something as simple as going for a walk. Going for a walk in the woods or in the park or on a beach, and just listening to the wind and allowing the wind to just soothe your troubles. And that in itself didn't require any candles, it didn't require any herbs, it didn't require anything, spectacular and wonderful. It's just appreciating nature and being grateful for what it is. And when it comes to the mundane things of every life, try and bring magic into the things that you wouldn't normally think of. Things like cooking, things like getting ready in the mornings and putting your makeup on, things like cleaning. When you're cleaning, you're thinking, I must get this clean so that it's more presentable, or it's, a better place to work in, or a better place to live in. It's healthier if your surroundings are clean. So in itself, that already is a little bit like a spell, because you already have an intent to make your life better by cleaning and tidying your space around you. So it's just about thinking a little bit more along those lines of the reasons why you do the things that you do already in your everyday life. And that is one of the greatest ways to be able to bring magic into the mundane. So my third witchy goal or resolution is to start using what is around you. Now, as I said before, it is very easy to read all the books and watch all the videos online and think, I must have this, 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 this. You get down to your altar and, oh, you forgot to buy this. And then that's it. The entire spell is ruined. You can't do anything for at least another 3 weeks. No. You do not need any of that. So it's better to start using what is around you. If you are like me and you do kind of like the routine of sitting down and doing spells at an altar and all of that kind of things, as opposed to finding the magic in everyday mundane things, then at least try and find things around you which are mundane to use. So if you haven't already got 50 to 60 different herbs in your collection, that is fine, because you will probably most likely have at least a little jar of mixed herbs in your cooking cabinet in your kitchen. And whether you know it or not, it is exactly the same stuff, okay? Just use a little pinch of that on a tea light and you're good to go. You don't need all these elaborate herbs or mixes or spices or anything like that. Just use what is around you. And sometimes some of the greatest things I have done have just been using a pen and a piece of paper, written down my thoughts, either screwed it up or teared it up and put it in the bin, or burnt it with a lighter. And again, that didn't require anything super magical or super witchy. It just required a piece of paper and a pen, which, trust me, I have a lot of. So again, that's just using the things I had around me to do whatever I wanted. And the same thing as you go for candles. You don't have to have all these amazing 7-day jar candles. Tea lights work just as well. I I have been known to use Yankee candles, or just like supermarket owned scented candles, and again, they work absolutely fine. So my tip for you, or my goal or New Year's resolution, is to start using more of what you have, as opposed to needing to buy things throughout the whole year. So my fourth New Year's goal or resolution, so far I've been trying to talk about things that we could already be doing, but the fourth goal I have is to actually pick up a new skill, or something, or research something, learn something, read something that perhaps you haven't really delved into far already in your spiritual journey. So perhaps, like me, you are, you love divination, you love your tarot cards, you probably have way too many decks, you love your pendulums, you love your rods, but for whatever reason, perhaps you can't really see auras that well, or perhaps you don't really know your herbs that well. Perhaps you have no idea what the colours mean, or the wheel of the year, or anything like that. So why not make it a goal or resolution to this year try and focus and spend a little bit more time practicing another skill that you could be doing, as opposed to your main profession, if you will. So for example, as I said before, I love divination, absolutely love it, but the aura one I said before is true. I cannot see auras at all. At least I can't see auras in the normal sense that people describe them. I unfortunately I can't walk around the town centre, not that I am anyway at the moment, but generally I don't just walk around and I can see colours on people and identify spots on areas of their body which need certain looking after. So I'm not very good at auras at all, but I'm very good at sensing, without the need for seeing physical colour on people. So I guess that's probably a way that in 2021 I could perhaps boost my aura skills by tapping into other areas that I'm already sort of efficient in, and then being able to build upon those skills in the new year. And my last and final New Year's goal or resolution that I think should be on your list this year is probably the most mundane of them all, and that is saying thank you. Now, thank you is very generic, it's very broad, not that magical, at least not when you think about it on face value, but a lot of magic comes from energy, and a lot of magic comes from the energy of things like love. And love can be boosted by so many ways, and one of those ways is respect and gratefulness. And when you think about it, if you do work with things like spirits or deities, ancestors, anything along those lines, you're more likely to create a better relationship with them if you acknowledge them and you say thank you. You acknowledge them in the mornings, you say hello, and then when they've done something for you, you appreciate what you have done. Saying thank you, although it's only 2 words, can make such a massive difference in whatever you're working towards. And even if you're saying thank you to yourself, whether you believe it or not, that will probably give you just a slight smidge pinch of happiness and confidence in your future workings, because you know that you're appreciating the effort that you're putting into yourself. So I think that saying thank you, whilst it sounds completely non-witchy, sounds completely non-magical, probably would be one of the most magical of them all, because you really mean what you're saying, and you really mean what you're doing and why you're doing it. So that marks the end of my 5 New Year's resolutions on a more magical or spiritual level. I hope that this helped you as you're creating your New Year's resolutions going into 2021. I I truly, truly hope that 2021 is a much happier and healthier year for you and for all of us. 2020 was a year. It was different. So I do hope that 2021 brings you a lot of happiness and a lot of magic along the way. But whatever happens, I do hope that you do set yourself some goals and that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all have a very magical week ahead. Bye bye.